You reading a lot at this time?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying my best. Like right now, I'm really, really, really trying to find the focus and the time to finish this.
I can't really see
I
it.
don't know if we could see it. No way.
Napoleon
It's
Hill.
Think and Grow Rich, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich. I'm on it now. I'm a newbie. All the big entrepreneurs in the game might be laughing at me saying, like,
No.
yo, that's now. Yes, it's now that I'm reading it because yeah, but out of that, I
Yeah.
read a
All the
couple good stuff
entrepreneurs in
though.
the game are gonna look at you and be like, "Big ups for reading that." Anybody that doesn't look at you and say that isn't an entrepreneur in the game, in my opinion. They're a predator in the game.
True, true, true.
That's just.
Thanks.
Whoops. Did I say that?
But but I feel like I did my I did read a few books, especially when I went to university and I did a class on Indigenous people and First Nation around the world, like the summary of the history of what they've been through. And I read a book that's called Keeper and Me, and it's really, really deep. It's talking about it's a man that used to be in the province, well, of Ontario, where back then they used to go over there and convert people to Christianity. And the way they used to take it is they used to take kids from 7 years old and they would just take them off their families and bring them into Christian churches and, force them into the culture. And it's the story of a guy that was separated from his family that way. And he always felt like there was something wrong about him and all. And that's the story of his life, of him from the moment he got in jail from doing drug dealing all the way up to the moment he met his family and got in touch with who he is and where he's from and his father and so on, so on. So that's really deep stuff that I like reading. I really love history and everything around it. So if I read, that's what I read.
Yeah, I really like that answer too because basically we talked about another big thing that happened in Canadian history that people don't like to talk about and snuck it in. Big props. I appreciate that. I say
Yes,
that
man.
real sincerely. Um, that's why I was watching. I don't know if you saw that like Anne of Green Gables show on Netflix now, Anne with an E or whatever. But they really go into detail into that shit in the third season. Like they flat out show it happening. Like, and I was like, wow, I've never seen that on TV before.
Oh,
So they show it go down and you're the
world's
kidnapping,
changed.
all of it. And I was like, yo, people need to know that that's a real thing that happened way into the 1900s. Anyway,
Hmm.
it's just worth talking
Well,
about.
I'm happy. I'm happy we're shedding light. We're putting light on that. I'm really happy because the course I did, honestly, it's one course in my life. It's 3 university credits, but that should change my whole perspective of the not the contrary to what people think. I don't. It didn't change me in hating the persecutor, but understanding that me as a black man or an indigenous man or anybody that went pers- uh, through through persecution or any type of suffering as people, there's something we have in common. And that thing in common is the way we get together and celebrate whatever we want to celebrate. And I feel like that's what kept us alive for so long. And now that I think that ever since I read that book and I got back to Montreal, I got in touch with so
Oh, you
many
left
more
Montreal?
people from those people. Oh, Montreal is my city, man.
No, but when did you leave
I could
Montreal?
hate on it because I've won it. Huh?
When did you leave Montreal?
I left in 2016. I just left for a semester.
Okay. Where'd you
I just
go?
left for a semester and then I got back.
Where'd you go?
To Bishop University.
Okay, so you went to Bishop University,
Bishops.
right? Then you came back,
Yeah.
and
And got back. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
felt inspired, and
Yeah. Yeah. Ever since I got back, I got just more in touch with what I've learned over there. I felt like it was just like a theory for me. to really get the field right once I'm back. Because ever since I got back, I worked in the nightlife and being a security, being a bouncer, and so on and so on. You really get to see them a lot in the streets. And contrary to what you think, well, securities and people working in the nightlife, they have either a great relationship with people in the streets or they don't. But the truth and the sad truth is we always treat them as if they're people from the streets, even though sometimes they're not. And that's what I got to realize, especially in the city that they don't want to talk about, like the way they're treated. It's way similar that the way everybody got treated in slavery history or whatever history you want to put on the table, you know?
Oh, you're not wrong.
So yeah, it,
You're not wrong.
yeah.
I mean, I've heard many people say many things like, yo, because where I used to live was on a bus line that would go straight to Atwater. So frequently there'd be people
Mm-hmm.
drinking on the bus, and it creates a stereotype. And then that's like an active stereotype. And then that shit gets reinforced on people. And you hear the judgment. You hear it in what people say when they get, oh, fuck another. You know, like you hear this shit. And we're not talking like past, I'm talking like 5 years ago. I moved after that.